Hello, everyone. Can you all see me well? Welcome to today's webinar. Can everyone see me well? Can you please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen and if you can hear my voice? Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen? Can you hear my voice? Welcome to today's webinar. Can everyone see me well? Can you please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen and if you can hear my voice? Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen? Can you hear my voice in today's webinar? Can everyone see me well? Can you please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen and if you can hear my voice? Hi, Lavanya. Can everyone see me? Awesome, beautiful, because there might be a little bit of lag as I talk and you receive it. So thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to have you all here today for the stress management webinar. How awesome is this? I want to welcome all of you here, starting with, we've had Karu, who has joined us so very early. I've got eLanka from Neil Jayashekara from eLanka. And we've got Rachel joining us, my executive assistant. I've got Lalita, I've got King's Edition. We've got Purna Bharatiya. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Hi, Lavanya. Thank you so much for joining. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. So the rest of you, please type it on the chat box. Tell me your name and introduce yourself so that I can address you. And as we can talk, I can address any challenges that you have in terms of this stress management, right? Okay, before we start, can I just get sort of an understanding of what is your expectations from today's webinar? Can you put it on the chat box? What would be an amazing outcome for you from today's webinar? Can I see that on the chat box here, please? I look forward to see what would be a great takeaway. What are your challenges? Can you put that down in this chat box here? And as you know, it's all about managing stress. And in a moment, I'm going to bring up my presentation and I'm going to offer you an amazing sort of a solution, a coping mechanism that you can use to manage your stress. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my presentation here, and meanwhile I'll let you all type in your challenges and what would you like to take away from today, your stresses. Put that in here. Okay, right. So I'm going to share my screen in a moment. I'm going to bring up my screen in a moment. Just give me 1 second. Share screen. Okay, I've got Lavanya here. Lavanya, just give me 1 moment. As soon as I share my screen, we are ready to rock and roll today's session. Please let me know if you can see my PowerPoint presentation. Just want to make sure that you can see my screen well. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Yes? So Lavanya says stress management, not for COVID alone, for all the situation and how to handle it. Fabulous. That is a very, very good attitude. I truly believe that any sort of a skill that you're learning is not just about your stress for the moment, but it is a lifelong, sort of a skill that you're going to develop. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. This is Nima Ambi. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening, Nima Ambi. Welcome. So let's move on to today's presentation. I've got a few people sending me chat messages here asking how to join. Just give me one moment as I give them some directions as to how they can join us. And meanwhile, I want to still keep seeing what your challenges are. I would like everyone, Neil, if you can share with me what your challenges are. Karu, thanks. We can see the screen and the presentation. Fabulous, fabulous. Okay. Okay, there was someone who was finding it difficult to join. I've given that information. All right. Now, there we go. Just want to make sure all is well and I can move through my slides. Okay, so I'm moving on with today's session. So this is your stress management webinar, and this is organized by a lovely eLanka. And I want to take this opportunity to thank eLanka. And what eLanka does is, it is a Sri Lankan community in Australia, and it is a platform for news, events, photos, business directory, and video. And here is their contact numbers. It is really a great initiative to bring this wellness to the community and to be able to support the community. And here are their contact numbers if you want to contact them. Right. First of all, I want to start by thanking Neil Jayasekara, Managing Director, eLanka, which is a community website portal for the Sri Lankan Down Under. So, Neil, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so very grateful that you've given us this opportunity, and also given this opportunity for everybody in our community to overcome stress, giving them this coping mechanism. So this is an amazing platform that you have created. So thank you so much for that opportunity. Okay, so I would be sort of moving between my screen and the chat box. How can eLanka assist more of our members to go digital from social media, email to payments online? Wow, amazing question this is. Fabulous. We will get to that. Yeah, I think it's very important, Neil, because at the moment, the kind of work that you're doing and the kind of support that you're giving to the community is just amazing. So I think from this platform to, going payment online is very important. And I think the problem there is, Neil, is more about people trying to, feeling a little bit uncomfortable from moving from their comfort zone to a little bit of an uncomfortable zone. But I think with the awareness and with the education, and it's really important because we need to support the digital media, because that is saving time for the audience here, whoever is watching this program. I think it's really important that we take awareness and we take that attention into using and leveraging technology. Because why? Because it's efficient, it's faster, it saves time. So yes. Cool. So let's move on now. So again, Neil, welcome and thank you so much for this opportunity. So this is me. My name is Uma Panch. I'm a mindset alchemist. I'm a mindset coach, corporate trainer, motivational speaker, and social entrepreneur. And I help to reprogram your mind, rewire your brain, and transform your life. These are some of the platforms in which my interviews and I've been featured, including Asian Entrepreneur Magazine, The Kind Boss, SBS Radio. Recently, I spoke about coping with stress. Again, Sun TV. I've spoken in the Australian Indian Radio, and this is all about leadership, and the Indian Achievers Magazine as well. My first question to you is, are you mindful or are you mindful? Can you put it in the chat box and tell me which one of those categories are you? Are you able to tell me whether you're mindful or you are mindful? Just put it in the chat box here, because I really encourage your participation and cooperation, because the more you participate and engage in this discussion today, the more it's going to be very, very interesting. So can I hear it from you, whether you are mindful or mindful? I'm waiting for you to give me that answers. I will be seeing your answers in a little bit of a lag, because there will be a bit of a lag, but be rest assured I'll be coming back and answering your questions. Okay, Just give me one moment. I'm just wanting to make sure that everything is clear on the YouTube here. Okay, looks like everything is going well. I trust everybody is seeing me, everybody is listening to me, and all is good. Okay. Right. So as you type your points here, whether you're mindful or mindful, let me explain to you what I mean by this. So currently we are all so much preoccupied with different kind of stresses, right? Right? So mindful, okay. Mindful is where, oh, Lavanya, towards the way to mindful. Mindful is where you're very attentive to everything that is going on around you. You're in the present moment. You're non-judgmental. You're compassionate. That's mindful. Mind, F-U-L-L, is where your mind is full of technology, media, work, home, life, balance. So much is going on for you that creates a lot of stress for you. Right? So let me tell you what the problem is. Now, research is showing that we all have significant stress, and which is a precursor for anxiety. Right? World Health Organization has called this as the health epidemic of the 21st century. And people with high stress have poor life experiences as well. We've got occupational stress, which affects our stress on the mind and body and at all levels. Okay. And then we have social pressure. We have workloads, got performance anxiety, perhaps personal issues. We are juggling multiple activities in our life, bombarded with conflicting priorities. And the World Health Organization now says that this will result in a burnout syndrome, which is characterized by negative emotions, lack of attitude, and all those stuff. So then now you're going to ask me, Uma, so what is the solution? Yes, we are absolutely stressed out. We are anxious. Can you start typing it here and tell me, what are you anxious about? What are you stressed out about? Let me know. I'd like to really know how you're getting stressed out. What's happening on your day-to-day basis? What are your biggest stresses? Okay, start putting that in here. So the antidote for this, or the solution to this, is mindfulness. So let me explain to you what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is leading oneself completely in the moment, where you are absolutely in the present moment. So what I have done at iBeyond Bliss, I'm the founder of iBeyond Bliss Personal and Corporate Wellness. And what I'm doing here is creating this environment where I'm creating the awareness about mindfulness. So the reason I'm creating awareness about mindfulness is you can handle your stresses without going spending money too much on medicines or trying to do stuff that is also could have other sort of impacts, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be taking medications, but you can reduce to it some extent if you are practice mindfulness. It is proactively dealing with the stresses. Rather than allowing stress to happen, you're going to control it. It's better to control it at the core level rather than allowing it to happen and then go for medications, right? That is why I created this movement called mindfulness. So before we go to that, can I see your comments? I'm looking forward to some comments. Please start putting in a lot of comments and tell me, are you resonating with me? Have you heard about mindfulness before? What is this all about? And I want you to start putting it in the chat box, because we need to be participating and engaging for you to take away the goodness of today's session. Right. So I'm going to tell you what mindlessness is. What stresses out you the most? Exactly. Rachel, awesome question. What stresses out you most? So please keep putting it on the chat box, because if you put in your information, like whatever is going on for you, I'll be able to address your questions here. Right? So mindlessness, before I explain to you what mindfulness is, let me explain to you what mindlessness is. So mindlessness is where we are rushing through activities without being attentive to them. Probably breaking or spilling things because of carelessness. Tell me which of these things you do. Failing to notice subtle feelings of physical tensions and discomfort. Put that on my chat box. Tell me, hi Loganathan, kindly upload this video called YouTube channel, please. Sure, I'll do that, Mr. Loganathan. Sure, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will. So Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your discussions here. I really appreciate your comments, because this is what makes this session really successful, okay? We want to make sure that everybody benefits from this session, and I want you to engage. So keep typing in and telling me what is going on for you. What do you resonate with this? When we say mindlessness, is it rushing through activities? Do you rush through activities? Do you break or spill things because of carelessness or inattention, maybe failing to notice subtle feelings in your body? Sometimes constantly preoccupied with the future or the past, or snacking. What do? Let me know. Keep putting it on the chat box, right? Engagement is a key, especially when we are online here. We are not in the same room. I do conduct a lot of live events, but at the moment, everything is online. So we need to be engaged here. So let me tell you what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is the awareness that rises from paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. Okay, now when I talk about mindfulness, you're going to be thinking, but Uma, is this really true? Is there any woo-woo thing? Is this definitely science-based? Because I don't want to get into something that's not science or evidence-based. This is 100% evidence-based. And I have been practicing mindfulness, and that has transformed my life, right? I have won 4 awards, and it's never ever been easy, because I'm quite a workaholic. I love to work. I love to perform. I'm a high achiever. And to be able to achieve that without stress is the key, because I have had my own stresses, burning myself out because of overworking, right? But now I do perform very well, peak performance with reduced stress. So this is what I want you to experience, okay? It's evidence-based, and it sort of increases 16% in mental. If you practice mindfulness, 16% improvement in mental health performance. Now, look at these benefits. Look at the benefits of mindfulness, enhance mental fitness and clarity. As I'm going to read this through, I want you to type on the chat box and tell me which one of this do you want? Do you want enhanced mental fitness? Do you want to develop agile, adaptive mindset? What is important to you? Improved working memory, enhanced productivity and creativity? Or is it advanced emotional intelligence? Or are you looking for heightened metacognitive awareness? You get all of this by practicing mindfulness. I've been practicing mindfulness for almost 5 years now, and it has transformed my life. Enhanced emotional regulation and communication. Who doesn't want to be able to communicate so well? And having resilience. Yes, and look at better decision-making skills. How many of us want to make amazing decisions, right? Day-to-day basis, we are making so many decisions, and we want to make sure that we're making the best decisions, right? And think about this, increase workplace engagement at workplace, at home. If you can improve your engagement, what would that do to you? What could you achieve by having all these, develop all these traits? Because it builds your mental and emotional, cognitive skills and emotional regulation. So I'm looking forward to seeing this on your chat box. Which one do you want to develop? Which is the most important to you? Please put that on the chat box here. Okay, so what I'm going to share here is that mindfulness has got some key principles. Now, in the scope of today's session, decision making, awesome. Loganathan, what would you like to have from all these skills that I mentioned earlier? Karu, please tell me, what would you like to experience? I gave you a list of benefits of mindfulness. What would you like to experience? Neil, you let me know, what would you like to experience? Ambi, Nima Ambi. Yes, can you all let me know, what would you like to experience from the list that I had given you? Because it's in better decision, of course, Neil, of course. Enhanced productivity and creativity. Look at that, amazing. Rachel is my EA, and very grateful to you, EA, Rachel, because this is important. I love to have you having that sense of productivity and creativity. That is awesome, beautiful. So there are some key principles to mindfulness. In the scope of today's session, we won't be able to cover it all, but I will do my best to cover as much as I can, right? So with mindfulness, these are the key principles: to be in the present and now, avoid automaticity and judgments, and practice acceptance and compassion, and focus on your goals and look into your ego and then integration. This is what I teach in an 8-week mindfulness program that I run with associations, organizations, schools, for youths. I run this program for different age groups and different institutions. I work with doctors, I work with professionals, helping them, develop the skills of mindfulness. Now, in all these, I'm going to pick some key important, the most important I can share, though everything is important, but I won't be able to, share everything to you today. Let's go for some of the key ones, right? And before I go on to that, there were too many topics which is making it difficult to choose. Absolutely. I know. But you know what is the advantage here? You can have it all. The beauty is you can have it all. And imagine what would be your level of life experiences if you could have all those skills. What would be your level of life experiences, your productivity, your performance, your cognitive skills, your emotional skills? There's got to be a great sort of quantum leap in your life, right? To be able to reduce stress, because stress is a killer. We know that it takes life, so we need to be very mindful to make sure that we have practices that we can do in an everyday basis, simple practices. It's going to help you to reduce your stress. Now, thank you so much. As we move on, can you please tell me, are you enjoying today's webinar? Tell me, what is it that you're enjoying? Give me a thumbs up, give me a smiley, give me some sort of indication that this is valuable to you. Tell me, what are you enjoying so far? Keep putting it on the chat box so I'm able to engage with you, because only you can see me. I can't see you. So the only way that I can connect with you is when you put some comments here. So tell me, are you enjoying this session? And what is really exciting? What are you fascinated about, listening to me today? Put that on the chat box here. Neil, let me know, what do you think? Are you enjoying today's session? Karu, let me know. Nima Ambi? Yes, I'd like to hear from all of you. Lavanya, what do you think? Let me know. Let me know what is fascinating for you here today. Okay, so let me take you. Now, this is what is happening to us. Now, you might be still wondering, but Tuma, I don't know. Yes, I'm stressed, but I don't know why I'm stressed. Now, look at this. You've got about 50 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. 50% of your thoughts are negative thoughts, and 47% of your attention is only at any given point in any task that you do, including now when you're listening to me. Only 47% of your attention is here, and 53% is spent on mind wandering. Can you imagine that? And 90% of your thoughts are from previous day. Can you imagine what this can do to you? Your way of presentation. Thank you so much. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. All of you, give me some indication whether you're loving today's session. Absolutely. Thank you, Neil. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to you, Neil. You brought this to the community. So you're doing a great deed of service for our community, for people who are going through this COVID stress. What would it be for you all to take these tools and go and implement it straight away in your life? It's going to be, thank you so much, Lavanya. Okay, so look at this. So this is what is going for you on an everyday basis. Now, about thoughts, there's some positive things about the thoughts. Obviously, it makes us be more creative. We get more ideas and we are making plans, right? It allows us to do that. But what are the negative impacts of thoughts? It takes away the ability for us to focus, to pay attention, and to concentrate. How many of you struggle with focus, struggle with attention and concentration, struggle with performance because constantly your mind is sort of, as I said earlier, mindful. Your mind is full of information overload. And imagine, what is it doing to us? Too soon to make judgments at this stage. Absolutely. We wait till the end of the session, Karu. I'm waiting to impress you. Awesome. So think about this. Focus and attention and concentration. All this is taken away because our mind is so much with information, right? So now let's look into the next step. I want you to do a small exercise for me now. Gently close your eyes. Gently close your eyes. And can you try to now stop your thoughts for 30 seconds? Okay, I want you to come back. Were you able to stop your thoughts? What was your experience? Were you able to immediately stop your thoughts, or were you having more thoughts? Were you thinking to stop your thoughts? Tell me what happened for you, right? As I proceed, I'm going to answer your question. I want to know what happened for you. Now, it is very difficult, right? Thoughts demand a lot of our attention. It is difficult, if not impossible, to stop our thoughts, because even stopping our thoughts requires a thought to stop your thought, and it is practically not possible for us. Now, with thoughts, what happens now? The main cause for misery and suffering and stress is our thoughts, because we're constantly worrying, ruminations, negative story about ourselves, right? So dealing with these thoughts becomes a big challenge for most. Tell me, what sort of challenges do you have with your thoughts? Put it on the chat box and tell me, how are your thoughts challenging you? How is it creating stress for you? Put it on the chat box. Love to know, love to hear from you. Yes, so I'm going to see more thoughts. Absolutely. Yes, more thoughts. Yeah. Okay. So counted and watch my breath. Good strategy. So what we do usually is we are either in the past or in the future, and the present moment awareness is very little. Can you see? So much of past and so much of future. As I mentioned earlier, 47% is only here at any given point. 53% we are mind wandering either in the past or the future. In doing so, we are stressing our mind. What we need to be doing is being in the present moment, the now moment, which means the past, can go to the past, but only a little duration, and future a little, but your now has to be more. That is why it's even called the present, is it? So are you mostly in your future or in your past? Please share it with me in the chat box. Do you mostly feel that you're mostly in the future, or do you think mostly in the past, or do you think you're able to be in the present moment? I can say that usually we find it difficult to be in the present moment unless we are focusing on mindfulness or, present moment awareness. Otherwise, it's usually the past or the future. So please let me know, are you most into your future, or is it mostly in the past? Okay, so this is one of our biggest challenges, right? So the key here is, the first principle that I would invite you to practice is being in the present moment. Continuously, whenever you feel that your mind is wandering, you come back to the present moment. And in doing so, your present moment focus attention improves. By doing that, your performance improves and your stress reduces, because you're not worried about the other two spectrum of your life, right? It's okay to think, but not to linger there for long. Future. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nimma Ambi. Mostly in the future. Okay. So that is what usually stresses us out. Now, let me talk about automaticity. What is automaticity? Like, we constantly automatically do stuff. How many of us drive and we get home and we think, how did I even get home? We put on the light, we switch off the light, we cook, we put salt, we put sugar. We can do anything. We can do all of these things without the present moment awareness. We are so much playing the guitar, playing violin, most of this dancing. You don't have to think much, right? It automatically happens. So that is our automatic patterns. And what happens is, that is how Karu says mostly concerned about the future. Thanks for sharing, Karu. Yes, mostly in the future. And at the moment, I think most of us are more consumed about the future, mainly because of the COVID situation. So what happens is, with automaticity, we are constantly automatically doing certain things. And that's why it makes very difficult for us to even change some behaviors. If you see, some people are addicted to some things, and that's why they can't change those addictions, because most of it is an automatic behavior. The program run through our subconscious mind. That's what I do when I work with people, when I work with addictions, when I work with people to change behaviors, either practice new behaviors or give up on some bad behaviors. I work on their subconscious mind to create that shift for them. So the advantage of automaticity is it allows us to do fast and parallel processes, right? Not necessary to think too much or make any, sort of too much of choices. You can quickly make decisions. Little attention is required for automatic behaviors. However, and tell me, do you have automatic patterns? Like, can you automatically keep doing things? And then you're thinking, oh, sometimes we take the same route. We don't even think of taking a new route, right? Those are all our automatic behaviors. So what happens is we first make our habits and then our habits makes us. So because it is at a subconscious or unconscious level, we are not at the moment. So that is the downside. So it is so very important to make sure that every single activity we do it as if we are doing it for the first time. And you'll be amazed to see how much new things you could be doing, how differently you can be doing certain things. When you stop to take that cognitive awareness that I'm constantly doing automatic stuff, I'm going to stop, be in the present moment, and do something more consciously. That's where the shift happens. Yes. Are you loving this concept of automaticity? And would it be something that you would like to really embrace and change so that you can have a new way of living? Is that something that would be really of use to you? Please let me know in the chat box. So the next thing here is the solution, which is mindful awareness and attention. That is constantly being in the present moment to avoid automaticity. Okay, so this is your second principle. And mostly what people do is because of automaticity, people are multitasking. So I used to be very proud that I'm a multitasker. I'm like, wow, I can multitask. I can speak on the phone. I can type on the computer and I can say bye to someone. I used to feel so proud that I was a multitasker before knowing mindfulness. And on my resume, that would be on bold. I'm a multitasker. I'm so proud about it. But did you know that you cannot multitask? Your brain can only process one thing at a time. So because we are multitasking, we are stressing our mind. We are stressing, we're putting stress. That's why when you drive, you cannot speak on the phone, right? Why do they say that? If you can multitask, if your brain can process two things at the same time, why aren't you allowed to use the phone when you drive, right? Similarly, it's like a computer programming. When you open too many applications, what happens? Your computer slows down. Similarly, in your mind, if you have too many parallel things running at the same time, it reduces your performance and it creates a lot of stress for you. Tell me, any of you, do you do too much of multitasking? Do you think this information is valuable to you and you can stop multitasking and you can get into? So your question will be then, oh my, if I don't want to do multitasking, what should I be doing instead? So what you should be doing instead is effective attention. Effective attention switching, which means that you choose to shift your attention. For example, you're on an email or probably speaking to someone, something else comes in the way. You need to stop doing this and then you need to focus on that and then come back to this. Whatever it is in your circumstances, try to apply this and see what sort of a difference that is going to make to you. Because this will really transform the way that you are experiencing life. And you will most definitely see a huge improvement in terms of your performance and also the ability to reduce your stress. Yes, I'm just looking in the chat box just to make sure that I am answering everybody's question. Fabulous. And if you have any questions here, feel free to please post it and I'll definitely come back to your questions because this is a very huge topic. I'm trying to cover as much as I can within the scope of our time. Okay, so please put it on the chat box and let me know how you're going with what I'm teaching you today. So let's move on now. This is very important. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all our miseries and sufferings is something that we are creating for ourselves. Of course, there are issues. There are issues which is outside our control, right? COVID is outside our control. Climatic conditions are outside our control. Anything that is not within our control is something that we can't do anything about, right? So this is where the third principle of mindfulness, which is acceptance, is the key to practice mindfulness and is the key, one most important key for stress reduction. What are we doing? We are constantly resisting. If you can see, we are constantly resisting things in our life, including COVID. Now, as COVID is happening, what are we doing? We are resisting. It's very hard. We don't want to experience this. Yes, it is hard, but is it within your control? Think about other things that's going around us. It's not within our control. But when we try to control and resist those experiences, it becomes difficult for us because we've got two kinds of stresses. One is the outside stress, which is things like COVID, and the other thing is the stress that we are causing for our own self. Worrying, getting angry, resentment, anger, frustration, fear, uncertainty, all these things are our internal stresses. Can you tell me what is your external stress? Can you tell me what is stressing you externally? We know, of course, COVID. Apart from COVID, what do you think are your external stresses? Could be career-related stresses, could be relational stresses, can be parental stresses. What sort of stresses are you undergoing at the moment? And also tell me, what are your internal stresses? Like fear, can be anger, all these things. Your internal stress is creating cortisols, right? And it is increasing your stress level and anxiety, and that's how people get into depression. So can you put on the chat box, I'd like to know, what are your external stresses and what are your internal stresses? Karu, Lavanya, yes, everyone, Neil, would you like to put on the chat box and tell me, Nima, Ambi, tell me what are your external and internal stresses, right? So this is something that is really impacting many people. That is the internal stresses, which is a response to your external stresses. Now, if you can look at the screen here, in our daily lives, we've got pleasant things and unpleasant things. Or really pleasant ones are email from a friend, maybe a compliment, a nice conversation, etc. Unpleasant, traffic jams, arguments, boring task, right? All these things are your external stresses. Yes, things that are unpleasant to you. So what do we do? When pleasant things happens, we embrace them, don't we? Anything good that happens around us, we embrace them. But unpleasant things, we don't like it. We resist them. So we have this feeling inside us that I don't want this to happen. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel disappointed. I don't want to feel frustrated. Because you are resisting these unpleasant things, what it does is it creates a conflict. It creates a conflict between where you are right now, which is you don't want to feel that way, to where you want to be. If it is pain, if you're having physical pain, you feel that I don't want to feel pain. If you're feeling fear, you're feeling I don't want to feel fear. If it's sadness, you say don't want sadness. I want to feel joy. But the point here is to accept your emotions and feelings as they are, because if you resist them, if you resist anger, if you resist sadness, if you resist fear, the density and the intensity is more. The time, the duration, and the density is really high. But on the other hand, if you accept it, right? See, in this case, the intensity and the duration starts to get reduced. It slowly subsides. So if you were thinking that I get quite often stressed because I get angry, what you would do is when you feel anger, you will feel that, yes, I'm feeling angry at the moment. And you accept and acknowledge that feeling rather than trying to push away that feeling. Your next question will be then, Uma, what do I do with people who sort of do things wrong and then I'm getting angry? Do I accept them as well? You don't have to accept the people who are doing wrong to you. There is a way to deal with that. Like you're probably in the train station, the train is late, now you're getting frustrated, you're getting angry, you're allowing all this frustration and angry to build and build and build, and then you're feeling, no, I don't want to feel angry and frustrated. When you feel that way, you are creating more stress in your body. So there's physiological stress and psychological stress. So Instead of that, you acknowledge, yes, I'm feeling this frustration, I'm feeling anger, I'm feeling resentment. Just allow that experience to stay. Like if it's joy, you allow it to stay, right? So when it's an unpleasant experience, allow it to stay, and then deal with the people that you have to deal. If it's a complaint that you have to register, do that. People are stuck in traffic jam and they are absolutely raged. They get so angry and they raise their cortisol level. Instead, what could you do? Accept the fact that yes, this is not within my control and I am experiencing anger and frustration. I need to get to a meeting. I'm getting delayed. How do I handle this? So instead of reacting, you're going to respond. You're going to be mindful. You're going to be in the present moment. But if I get anger and show to others, won't it hurt others? That's exactly the point. We don't want to get angry and we don't want to show that anger to other people. We want to know that we are feeling angry. Yes? Okay, somebody has done this. I am extremely angry. Now I have two choices. I can immediately go on a rant. I can shout and scream and create a drama and hurt others and hurt myself. Or I can choose to realize that I'm going through this phase of anger. It's building up in my body, it's building in my chest, it's building in my neck, it's building in my head. But I'm not going to respond. I'm going to experience that anger within me and I'm going to respond and tell them, hey, you know what you're doing is not right. This is hurting my feelings. Please do not do this. Please do it this way. Can you see the difference? How beautifully you can handle a situation? Instead of reacting, you're going to respond because you're mindful and you're in the present moment. And in doing so, you're regulating your emotions. So you know how to regulate your emotions, and in that way you're also able to have better relationships. How many relationships are broken because of anger, because of fight, because of trauma, right? Work relationship, home relationships, because everybody is constantly reacting. Nobody is in the present moment. So with conscious awareness, you can manage your emotions. That's where all the stress is stemming from. Immediate fear. So when you feel fear of something, acknowledge that fact and allow it to subside on its own. Does this make sense to you all? Are you able to resonate with what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Can you put something, give me an indication on the chat box here to let me know that, yes, I'm following this through? Can you give me an example how you are now currently suffering because of reacting? Are you reacting or are you responding? You can add anything to this chat box based on what I've spoken so far so that I can see where you are or whether you're following what I'm saying. Yes, I hope this has been very valuable to you because so many people's life has transformed. As I mentioned earlier, I've got this mindfulness program which has been taken by registered behavioral therapists. These programs I've run for hotels, I've run for different organizations where they learn this mindfulness skill and they transform into amazing people and they build great communication skills, they build great relationships, make better decisions. Imagine what that could do if one person can feel that way and we can sort of transfer this beautiful skill throughout the world. What a beautiful place this world would be to live. Stressless people. Yes? So let me know what you're really enjoying about what we've discussed so far. So the thing is that stress management is all about your self-care because it is a self-care, and I have a checklist here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rank the level of your stress you feel right now. Okay? Please put it on the chat box. Work, family. Can you tell me in work on a scale of 1 to 10 if you're working? So if you're a housewife, you could say how your housework, whatever we work you do at home. I call you homepreneurs, you are all beautiful homepreneurs. If you're at home and you're taking care of your family, what an amazing work that you're doing. So I call you homepreneurs. So homepreneurs, tell me if that's your work and on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you feel stressed? Put it on the chat here. Family, how much do you feel stressed? 10 is the maximum stress. 1 is the minimum level stress. Can you please put it in the chat box for me and tell me how much are you feeling stressed? I'm looking at your chat box comments here. But if I get angry, yes, we are following well. I normally walk away from the situation to get out of angry mode. Nice, Nima Ambi. That is a good thing. You can walk away, but we can't walk away from our emotions. So how do you handle that? I really appreciate that you have a strategy, like you don't rant and you don't want to be in the situation. You try to take you away from the situation, which is awesome. That is the first step. At least we are not in that situation. At the same time, how can you manage your emotions? That would be the next step. So fabulous, great point there. Hiding such emotions makes me more stressful. Yes, that's exactly the point. You don't hide the emotions. You allow yourself to experience that emotions. That is what you need to do. Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you so much. So please tell me, work on a scale of 1 to 10. How much do you feel stressed? 10 is the highest point. Family. Okay, 3 for work, 0 for family. Amazing, amazing, Rachel. Proud of you, really proud of you. Great, doing a great job here. Okay, so in terms of conflicts, do you have, these are some of the stresses from our life, right? Conflicts, when you have conflicts with people, with circumstances, with situations, probably recurring disagreements or with loved ones, conflict, workplace conflict, home conflict, relationship conflicts, with children, with family, whatever, scale of 1 to 10, what sort of, how much is it stressing you? Is money causing tension for you? Right? What is it that you're finding it difficult with your finances on a scale of 1 to 10? Please rate your stresses. Okay. How much is it stressing you out? The next will be illness. Maybe you have fatigue problem. Maybe you burnt out problem. Maybe, leg pain, could be physical pain. Any kind of illness that you're suffering from. So from a scale of 1 to 10, again, how much is it stressing you? And then you can look into other things. Any other uncontrollable situation, COVID could be an example. How much is that stressing you? Can I see you all? Put it on the chat box here and let me know how much are all these things stressing you out. It's important to be aware of the level of stress, because for you, awesome, beautiful Lavanya, you are fabulous. You're fabulous. Great. Good job here. You absolutely know how you can manage these stuff, right? The reason why I'm asking this is, if you need to manage something, you need to be able to measure it. So if once you start measuring it, sometimes you will think, you know what? It isn't so bad. That realization is so freeing. It's so liberating, right? Because most of the time, even if you don't have stress, we assume that we have stress because we listen to everybody talking about stress. And because everybody is talking about stress, you feel that you're also stressed, but actually maybe you don't even have stress. But beautiful. Okay, conflict and money. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So actually, when you take this sort of a reflection and do a reflection exercise, you would feel like, actually, you know what? I'm not so stressed. Yeah. So this is why it's important to do this exercise. You can note this down and even do it at a later time if you feel comfortable doing it at your end. So when we look into the stress management self-reflection exercise, always ask yourself, these are the questions I want to ask yourself. Why am I feeling stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, or worried about this issue? Why? Sometimes it's just that notion that this is a problem, this is a problem. But when you actually dissect and sort of re-engineer and work on that and say, it won't be actually that bad. Am I thinking about the problem or am I focused on a solution? So when you talk about any of the problems that you have, are you constantly on the problem or are you solution focused? Because you can only think about 20% of the problem. 80% must be solution focused. So from problems, you can move to possibilities. How do I define a healthy, happy, and lasting resolution to this stress? What is your strategy to manage stress? Would mindfulness be a great option? Do you think with mindfulness you can manage your stresses? Please put it on the chat box. Now, you've learned 3 key skills of mindfulness. If you apply those strategies, do you think you'd be able to manage your emotions better? And by that way, you can manage these stresses as well, internal and external stress? Who can I turn around for help when I feel stressed? Sometimes all you need is pick up the phone and speak to someone. Just bring it out, let it out, rather than bottling it up. I think most people suffer because they bottle up too much of things. So feel free to share with people. Yes. And what will I do today to find a better way? I want you to ask yourself this question. What is one thing that I shared with you now, being in the present moment, perhaps accepting things as they are, or overcoming automaticity? What could you do? Again, this automaticity, what do? You get angry, you immediately respond, right? And then that becomes a series of, domino effect, negative domino ripple effect. What can you do? Tell me, what is the one thing that you can? Okay, thanks, Neil. Nothing stress me. I take it as it comes. Wonderful, Nima Ambi. It's a beautiful way to take life. Beautiful. Same as Neil, zero for conflict and money. Okay, thanks so much, Rachel. So, yes, so tell me, what is the one thing that you could be practicing? It is something very important that we want to take away and straight away implement in our life, right? So as we saw, all these things, we've discussed about money. In fact, this is part of a very big program that I run, but I just wanted to talk to you about the key, stresses that we have and how we can sort of really handle those stresses using the technique of mindfulness. And in fact, there are ways that you can practice mindfulness, which is meditation is a way. Again, meditation. Now, mindfulness stemmed from the Buddhism, the practices they had, Buddhist practice. But John Kabat-Zinn, who brought this into mainstream and got it scientifically, recognized, removed the religious aspect and has now given this as more of a practical tool that people can practice on a day-to-day basis. Anything as simple as even 10 minutes a day can help us to change the brain regions, and it can develop better cognitive skills and emotional regulation. So the mind is just like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And there is neuroplasticity. The brain keeps growing and it can expand. Yeah, these are some of the mindful organizations: Google, Nike, Apple. We've got US House of Representatives, UK Parliament, Bill Gates, Oprah. All these people practice mindfulness. And just to recap, we've almost come to the end of today's session. I want to ask some key questions, but before that, I've just shared with you what we've done so far. We've discussed the problem, the solution, which is mindfulness, 3 key principles of mindfulness: the present and now, automaticity, and acceptance. So can you put it on the chat box here? Feel free to email eLanka so that we can share your concerns with Uma, who will be able to assist. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Please let us know how else can we serve you and where to from here. There is something that I want to really give you as a bonus for showing up here and taking up this session here with me and accepting the invitation from Neil eLanka to come to this session here. I would like to offer you this bonus gift, which is a 5-day mindfulness booster challenge. You can participate in this challenge. It's absolutely free for you, and you can see how this will transform you. Just as less as 5 days, you can see the changes. So I invite you. Rachel will give you the link here right now. Please feel free to register for this program and take up this program. It's completely free for you because you've come through eLanka and because you've honored this time, come here to do this session, the stress management session. So here is the link for you. Please feel free to enroll and please take up this challenge. And I also want to just bring this to a conclusion by saying that the affairs of the world will go on forever, but do not delay the practice of mindfulness. Here is a small testimonial from, not a small testimonial, a very big testimonial. This is Anchal Kumar, Learning and Development Manager, Hyatt Regency, Sydney. She says that Kumar from Beyond Bliss facilitated the 8-week mindfulness program for holistic wellness for our employees from across the departments at Hyatt Regency, Sydney. The reason for choosing the program was to explore mindfulness and how it can benefit our employees. The benefit of learning the concept of mindfulness were great, and I found that it is a great tool to relax and increase your ability to regulate emotions, decrease stress and anxiety. It can also help to focus our attention as well as observe our thoughts and feelings. So this is a beautiful testimonial after I delivered the 8-week program. So in case you are wondering, how can you take it to this next level? There's always a way. You can reach out to us. Happy to offer these programs for you. These are some of the organizations that trust us. It's the Hotel School Sydney, Gerard, Star Moms, Unilodge, We Work. We've got many of them, Hyatt Regency, Outsourcing Angel. So we had SDNB Vaishnav College, who took part in these sessions. We've got Nest Forest as an NGO. So wonderful community that we have. And here is how you can follow us and connect with us. There's so much we can be doing as a community. And I really, really, really thank you so very much for showing up to today's session. And I truly believe that this would be useful to you. Thank you. Can you just tell me one of your key takeaway from today? And did you enjoy today's session? I just want to hear from you. Was the session valuable to you? What is your one key takeaway from today? And would you take this forward, and are you prepared to apply this to your life? Just share with us your takeaway from today. And again, I'll just hang on here for a few more minutes to take any of your questions that you might have in regards to mindfulness or stress reduction or anything else. If you want us to deliver more of this information, I'm sure Neil will be really happy to organize more of these sessions for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to every one of you who have showed up today for the session and to learn about a new skill and apply that in your life. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much. I'm just going to be here for a few more minutes so that I can share with you, answer any questions that you might be having. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yes, I'm saying thank you, Neil. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And Rachel, please give them the link for our email address if they want to contact us. And also, Lavanya, you are doing a fabulous job, Uma. All the very best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much, Lavanya. Thank you very much. And you will have the, on the chat box, we will let you know our email address and also give you the link for your free bonus. Please feel free to experience a beautiful transformation. Thank you so very much. We will also email this in our weekly email list to our members. That'll be amazing. And Neil, would you like to share your email address here? So if anyone wants to get in touch with you and reach out to you to use your services, this might be a great point where you can leave your email address. Nima, Ambi, my husband has a habit of getting stressed unnecessarily. How can we cure them? Now, Nima Ambi, it is a personal choice. He must choose to make this transformation for ourselves, because all these behaviors we generate those behaviors, right? So we cannot go and change somebody. Number one, they must be prepared to change. And if he is prepared to change, I'm happy to work with him, because this is a behavioral change. We need to work on their subconscious level to be able to change their mindset, because you can tell them, but it's just at a surface level. So feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to offer a free discovery session. You can have a chat with me. We can see how we can take it forward. Women's Inspiration Program. Karu, that's beautiful. More than happy. I do run a lot of women wellness webinar. I'll be it would be my privilege, absolutely my privilege, to offer one for this, because I run different webinars at different levels for youths. I run for employees. I run for women, because women are the most stressed, I think, at the moment, because so many things are going on for them. They have to handle the family now. Everybody is, locked up in their houses. So I think this would be very, very beautiful. So it will be called a Women's Wellness Webinar. Please let me know. I'm more than happy to inspire and empower our women community. Thank you so much, Karu, for this opportunity. Here is our email ID. You've got that hello.ibonbliss@gmail.com. And once you send us the email, we will get in touch with you and have a webinar organized for you. So whether it's your organization, it's a youth community, it's an association, we are participating with Lions Club, Rotary Club. We're organizing many webinars. So please feel free to reach out to us. And Neil, would you also leave your email address and website so that everybody can join and, use your services for their requirements? Maybe that might be a great way we can take it forward. Usha, you can also just drop in the email address For Lavanya says, how to make a person to realize that this mindfulness is important for their well-being. So Lavanya, every realization is a personal journey. We cannot force anybody to change their perspective. However, we can give them the awareness. Like for today, I can give you the awareness, but it is your choice to go and implement it, right? So the first thing is, if you get people to talk to me, I can get them to do it. Actually, that might be an easier way, because then they know that it's coming from someone who is, professionally doing this. And when I can share some information which is valuable to them, now everybody's got a motivation, intrinsic motivation to do something. We have to find that motivation. There's no point forcing anybody to do anything. It'll never ever work. We cannot change people, and we need to be the change we want to see in this world. So yes, the answer here is, invite them to have a chat with me, and I will definitely help them to understand the importance of mindfulness and practice mindfulness. We'll have beautiful families and relationships, and beautiful workplace environment if we can practice mindfulness. Do I have any other questions? If I have any other questions, happy to answer those questions here. I think that's all for today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. It was such a pleasure. It was such an honor. I look forward to continuing this journey with you all. So anyone else watching the show, feel free to get in touch with us. We're here to support you all throughout your life's journey. And I'm also doing a Samurai Mindset webinar, and this is leading to a masterclass where you're going to be learning some very key strategies and skills to unleash the power of your mind to experience powerful positive transformations. So if that is of interest, please reach out to us and we'll give you the details for the Samurai Mindset Masterclass, right? Thank you, everyone, then. Thank you so much again. Have a fabulous, fabulous rest of the day. And until we meet again, be the change you wish to see in this world. Thank you so much.